Retro games. You either love them or you love them. Nobody hates them. That is, of course, unless they've been licensed by atgames. I love atgames. I've absolutely no idea why YouTube has gotten oh so angry about them. Let's talk. Thanks for clicking or tapping on my video. Chances are you'll be here because you have at minimum a vague interest in retro gaming. By retro gaming, I mean pretty much anything prior to the glory days of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I've played games almost all my life. My first console was an Atari 2600 and it was glorious. The actual arcade on your television with no requirement for a pocket full of coins, or quarters for my American friends. I love some of the retro gaming channels on YouTube. I really enjoy hearing discussion and debate around which games were loved and hated back in the day. Over the last couple of weeks though, I've noticed a whopping amount of what can probably be best described as passive aggressiveness towards the world's biggest manufacturer stroke distributor of retro games that are officially licensed, atgames. I know I've hardly touched any atgames products on my channel, and I realise I don't go massively in depth with tearing down their devices. The main reason for that is the distinct lack of atgames products available in the UK. I literally can't play one of their new Blast range simply because I'd have to import it, and I don't want to jump through that hoop just to have a quick go on one of them. But that's literally as far as I'm going to go with my complaining about the distinct lack of available retro gaming devices in the UK. However, atgames devices are very much available in the United States, seemingly to almost every retro gaming reviewer on the planet. By planet I mean USA, that is. But how many of these reviews are positive? I'll give you a bit of a clue. There is as many positive reviews as sugars I would have in my Yorkshire tea. Now the answer to that is 0. Why is this though? Well, one review in particular did catch my eye. This is a John Hancock review, or should I say reviews, of the atgames Bandai Namco Blast. He was sent a review unit with actual arcade ROMs on it. Then the retail release contained NES ROMs. Bad. Really bad. Well, just bad. Not really bad. It's not the end of the world when it's only a $20 device. But I do feel bad for John though, as atgames had made him give a more positive review of what the device should have got from him. Putting that aside though, the other devices really aren't too bad. I've seen other YouTubers whinging about the sound quality and literally comparing the original hardware side by side. I don't get it. Can anyone explain to me why you demand the same quality of the original hardware from a cheap to manufacture churnware Christmas gift that will probably only get played on once? I personally think the products that atgames throw out to the US audience are great. The few I have had opportunity to review and take apart have been very well built and have been an absolute pleasure to play on. What atgames are doing, and people need to remember this, they're bringing back games that are predominantly only available to play illegally as an alternative. We as retro gaming fanboys should appreciate that there are companies out there who can and will profit from licensing and re-releasing retro games that would be at some point completely unavailable or forgotten about. I realised Sega, or Sega as most like to call them, do re-release some of their classic games on various platforms, which I do also embrace. Sometimes I just want to grab a controller, jump straight in without faffing around. The Blast series from atgames appear to allow people to just do this. Well, that's my piece said on atgames. Now for the PlayStation Classic. Yes, that games list isn't the greatest ever, but consider this. Some of the greatest PS1 games are already available digitally in the PlayStation Store to play on Sony's latest and greatest hardware. Why on earth would they give away games on the PlayStation Classic when they're still bringing in stacks of revenue selling them on their existing platforms? Sony will do anything they can to keep people in their ecosystem. This is a tactic that will not ever change. At least not while they can cash in on pumping out cheap hardware with some games that don't quite sell as well on their digital store. This mini console fad is not for the diehards, but please don't criticise the manufacturers unless you have an actual valid point, like the case of the arcade ROMs being loaded onto the demo unit. Anyway, I seem to have slipped right out of my Yorkshire mode. Never mind, I'm sure I'll be back with a brew sometime. If you've not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below, and I look forward to reading and responding to your comments below. Siddy.